Two used cars can sit side by side on a dealer's lot, wear the exact same badge, share the same body, and yet deliver completely different ownership realities. Buying a vehicle based solely on its make, model, and year leaves you vulnerable. Even if a seller insists a particular model has a stellar reputation, that reliability often applies to only one specific engine, or one transmission, or one brief production period. An attractive purchase price on the wrong drivetrain, hidden beneath identical sheet metal, can easily trap an inexperienced buyer with a crippling hidden repair bill. When condition and history are equal, identifying the exact mechanical specification is the only way to remove that major layer of risk. We are counting down 5 Australian market used vehicles, where the version you choose dictates the entire buying decision. At number 5 is the third-generation Ford Focus, sold from 2011. This is a sharp-driving, Highland practical small car that suffered massive reputational damage entirely because of one specific transmission. The early LW series paired a 2.0-liter petrol engine with Ford's 6-speed PowerShift dual-clutch transmission. In the real world, this dry-clutch unit developed a high risk of clutch shudder, harsh low-speed engagement, and transmission control failures. If an LW PowerShift hesitates on an incline or vibrates during takeoff, walk away. This specific version is only viable for a buyer who holds outstanding repair documentation and fully accepts the residual financial risk of an uncertain repair. The much safer target is the facelifted LZ model, sold from 2015 to 2018. It uses a 1.5-liter turbocharged EcoBoost engine and a conventional torque converter automatic, entirely removing that dry clutch anxiety and smoothing out heavy traffic behavior. The LZ does have trade-offs. The turbocharged engine requires strict adherence to correct oil grades, regular servicing, and a healthy cooling system. You must inspect for coolant loss and unusual turbocharger noises. This comparison matrix shows the clear divide. Seeing the word automatic in an advertisement is not enough. You must physically confirm whether that transmission is the risky PowerShift or the conventional 6-speed. Number 4 is the 2015 to 2020 Hyundai Tucson TL. Here, the choice between the 1.6-liter turbo dual clutch and the simpler 2.0-liter naturally aspirated petrol is a strict clash of driving environments. The 1.6 turbo is punchy and highly enjoyable on the open road. However, its dry dual-clutch gearbox is extremely vulnerable to repeated low-speed maneuvering, crawling through heavy traffic, and reversing up steep suburban driveways. Because heat exposes its weaknesses, buying the Turbo DCT demands an exhaustive cold-to-hot test drive to expose hesitations. It is heavily penalized by heavy start-start routines and suburban crawling. The alternative is the 2.0-liter petrol with a 6-speed automatic. It will feel underpowered when loaded with passengers and luggage, but it delivers predictable, lower-stress reliability for urban families. As the matrix illustrates, choose the 2.0 automatic for calm urban ownership. Consider the Turbo DCT only after a flawless, long road test proves it can handle heat without shuddering. Number 3 is the 4th-generation Subaru Forester, the SJ, sold from 2013 to 2018. Its immense, boxy practicality is heavily dependent on whether you choose the 2-liter diesel or the 2.5-liter petrol engine. Many buyers select the diesel simply to chase a lower highway fuel economy figure. But if those kilometers consist of short suburban trips, the diesel particulate filter fails to regenerate. That leads to oil dilution and catastrophic diagnostic confusion. Any marginal fuel savings on paper are instantly erased by thousands of dollars in emission system repair costs if you use this car primarily for the daily school run. The 2.5-liter petrol engine with the Lineartronic CVT is the sensible, general-purpose alternative. It completely bypasses the diesel's emissions complexity, though you do need to monitor the dipstick closely for oil consumption on early FB25 engine blocks. Looking at the breakdown, select the 2.5 petrol for mixed suburban use. Never purchase the diesel merely because the stated fuel consumption figure looks lower on the specification sheet. At number 2, the Mazda 6 GJ and facelifted GL models are excellent premium family alternatives. The distinction between its petrol and diesel engines is far more critical than deciding between the sedan or the wagon body style. Buying a used 2.2 twin-turbo diesel without perfect records exposes you to cascading financial risks. Used examples frequently suffer from interconnected failures involving the DPF, oil dilution, leaking injector seals, and heavy carbon accumulation. Accurately diagnosing this diesel requires a specialized Mazda mechanic analyzing live data and injector correction values. A cheap, undocumented diesel is an unviable, high-stakes gamble for the average buyer. The naturally aspirated 2.5-liter petrol paired with a 6-speed automatic provides a sharp contrast. Its smooth, straightforward engineering creates an easy-to-understand, highly reliable ownership equation. This side-by-side reveals the rule. Unless the diesel boasts exceptional specialist records and exactly matches a long-distance lifestyle, the naturally aspirated 2.5 petrol is your safest target. Taking the number 1 spot is the 7th-generation Volkswagen Golf. This is the ultimate example of the identical shell trap. Everything you touch and see remains exactly the same, but the gearbox you choose dictates your financial future. Many mainstream 1.4-liter turbo models use the 7-speed DQ200 dry-clutch DSG. While highly efficient, neglected examples carry a very high probability of expensive mechatronic faults and rapid clutch wear. Finding the rare manual transmission acts as a structural hack. It physically removes the problematic DSG clutch packs and the mechatronic control unit entirely from the vehicle. If you are comfortable changing gears yourself, the manual transmission transforms a highly complex European hatchback into a clever, simplified, and reliable long-term proposition. As our final matrix shows, when two MK7 Golfs look absolutely identical, you must read the transmission description before you even consider the paint color or option list. Once you identify the safer variant, you have to verify the hardware in person. Marketing promises mean nothing without a strict pre-inspection checklist. Step 1. Match the VIN. Registration years can be misleading, but the VIN identifies the exact engine code, build date, and transmission hardware. Step 2. Demand a true cold start. Do not let the seller warm the car up before you arrive. A cold engine is the only way to expose hidden timing chain noise, smoke, and delayed gearbox engagement. Step 3. Perform a hot drive and a diagnostic scan. The vehicle must be driven until fully warm to expose heat-triggered transmission faults, and scanned with a tool, because a clear dashboard doesn't guarantee a warning code hasn't just been cleared. Step 4. Verify specific invoices. A stamp that simply says major service proves nothing. You need documented proof that high-risk items like DSG maintenance, DPF flushes, or timing work were actually completed. Finally, run a background check for accident history. The most reliable drivetrain choice in the world cannot rescue a chassis ruined by hidden flood damage, previous accidents, or commercial rideshare abuse. Buying a car based solely on a model's general reputation is a massive financial gamble. To protect your wallet, you must exclusively buy the exact engine, gearbox, and production version that actually earned that reputation.